Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we're looking at Warduke's sort of companion figure because he came out right around the same time. Warduke, which is a Figure of the Year candidate for sure. Look, evil action figures. How great is that? Grimsword Ultimate Action Figure. Now, I will say this. I didn't remember Grimsword from when I was a kid. Warduke was any kid who had any kind of bin of like just extra toys from other collections had a Warduke when I was young. I didn't have any recollection of Grimsword, but the figure looked so incredible. Well, especially after I didn't buy this one until after I had bought Warduke, and then I was like, oh man, well I've got to buy anything that they make in this line. I think I'm gonna have to get. His name is Grimsword Evil Knight? I don't think I knew that. Grimsword Evil Knight is a mighty warrior and fierce fighter. He hopes to rule the land someday after he defeats all his enemies in combat. Grimsword has many evil friends fighting by his side, but he cannot be trusted. He will betray or fight anyone in order to gain power. That is, man, is that something written by like an 11-year-old? That's really funny. But, I mean, look at this figure. This kind of looks like something designed by an 11-year-old, but in the most awesome way possible. So the box looks great. A little more basic than some other NECA releases, but that's fine. Open it up. There's big, gigantic Grimsword with his insane weapon. Let's get him out of there and take a look at this. On the side here, we have the credits for everybody that was involved in bringing this piece of art to life. Let's open it up. Sometimes, it doesn't happen for me as often as it used to. I used to buy toys that weren't necessarily things I was collecting just because they looked like awesome toys and because it just really cool backdrop there. And because of the pricing of toys and how many lines there are that I love and that I collect, I really don't do that very often anymore. Used to happen all the time. I say used to, 15, 20 years ago, I guess. I was much more likely to buy something just because it looked cool. But now, back then it was talking about like, $10, maybe $15. Now we're talking about 25, 30 bucks, just because something looks neato. And it's just not a practical thing anymore to happen, which is unfortunate, but that's the world we live in. Man, that's insane. All right. Darn plastic. Maybe I can get at them from this side a little better. Nope. I know I keep saying it, but NECA, stop making they don't need to be this tight. They just don't. That's what I want. I want somebody from NECA to tell me, hey, what is the best way to get these stupid things off of your figures? And they would probably tell me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Which just tells me, well, there is no good way. Because this way seems... I'm always afraid I'm just going to cut right through, like one of my fingertips up here. And we're going to end up with something that I can't put on YouTube because it depicts realistic gore or whatever. It's going to happen. And you guys will never see it, but you will see the stupid Band-Aid on my finger a few days later for whatever other review I end up doing. All right. Really? Is that... I got a piece of tape up here. Man, that sword is incredible. Wow. A couple extra hands in here. I did not need to be told that he is evil. It is absolutely suggested with every inch of this guy's presence that he is pure evil. And it's not just because of the snake. I'm not one of those that dismisses snakes as being inherently bad. Man, he feels great, too. Snakes can be our friends, I guess. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, just the heft of this figure is impressive. But then we got to break out our measuring tape and see that he is over 8 inches tall. He is a massive brute of an evil knight. Man, how does this even... So he's got these crazy elbow armor situations going on. His articulation is underneath that. So it's just limited. It just is, but that's because of the design of the character. He does have rotation. He's got a single joint. He's got swivel biceps and your kind of standard shoulder joint up there. And then his hands are actually kind of high up because of the way the armored glove is designed. So the hinge for his hand is kind of a little higher than it normally would be. But it works very nicely. Look at the detail. Look at the painted, well, the sculpted and painted detail on that gauntlet. Unbelievable. Look at the straps and the buckles on the armor pieces. This is, when I was a teenager, well, even now, but I mean, this would have absolutely blown my mind. I wouldn't have been able to look at this. I would have just asphyxiated from my breath being taken away. The detail on his chainmail, or his, I guess that's scale mail, actually. What do I even say? What do I say here? Look at the... No way. Whoa. Okay. All right. So he's got this serpent that's part of his armor design coiled around him, going up on this crazy great offset shoulder piece. Oh, do those go up or down? So these are supposed to stay down, but these actually rotate. So if you want them to be up, which I think kind of looks cooler, they can be. That's a nice touch. You can see the scale mail goes up around his neck, and then his eyes, he's got these glowing red eyes that are set deep behind that helmet. The little... What is... Okay, what's the word for this? It's not a helmet mohawk. What is it called when a helmet has this like crest mohawk type thing on the top of it here? But you can see it's sculpted. It has like the fibers of the hairs from whatever poor creature he slaughtered so he could have a fancy helmet. You got look at the different plating that's on the face here. All of the rivets and seams. Whoever designed this character in the first place, and I will tell you right now, I do not know if he was designed by an LJN toy creator or if he's actually from the Dungeons and Dragons game. I don't know the history of that toy line so much. He's got a great ball-jointed waist. Not a ton of movement, but as much as you need for a guy in a gigantic suit of armor. Or I guess a gigantic guy in a suit of armor. He's got the standard NECA hip joints with the rotation there. This looks great and functions really, really nicely. The knee joints rotate. He's got the same design on his knee armor that he has on his elbows. So there is going to be a little bit of a limit there. But look at that movement. So this is just default standing. But this is attached. This is a soft piece of plastic. And it's attached here at the base of the knee. So you've got a little bit of crunch there. You can get just a little more movement. Very nice. And then the ankles, I can't quite tell. Okay, you can see it here. You've got the disc with the peg that goes out into. So these are standard modern ankles, and actually, it looks like they're pegged up into the calf as well. So you've got some rotation that way and that way. Wow, this is incredible. Look at the painted wear on the armor. And again, he's got the buckles and the straps painted on. And then this crazy snake knee pad thing. This guy is beautiful. I was not as enthused about him as I was about Warduke, just because, like I said, I wasn't familiar with him. I didn't really know anything about Grimsword, but he is a giant, impressive chunk of action figure. Tons of detail, just absolutely impressive. So this is, I was kind of going nuts about the little curve, the rattle or whatever it is here on the snake's tail, because here's what I think. That is there to hold the sword. Look at that. What kind of killer detail is that? That's amazing. So let's take a look. Let's set him off to the side here. We'll bring him back over later. Let's take a look at this massive, this very unique, specific sword. It's got the red fangs that his helmet features. And it is massive. So the figure is just over 8 inches tall. This sword is just over 5 inches long. Just vicious, beautiful, incredible work of art. You can see the way the blade is sharp there. And then he also had, well, let's take a look at the hands first, because the hands, I want to look at the hands in the middle, because they're kind of boring, but it's also cool that they have them. He's got a couple of fists for punching. He has got a, ooh, look at these creepy pointing fingers, which, you know, in any other line, these would be trigger fingers, but obviously that's not the case with this guy. They're just for creepy pointing. And then he's got just sort of your standard C-grips to interact with the sword. So we definitely want to give him a sword hand. This is another place where NECA has really gotten it together. The thickness and durability of the pegs in the interchangeable hands of their figures has improved immensely over the years. Not that I ever had a huge problem with them, but I was always a little more scared than I am now. So there you go, holds that sword perfectly, not surprising at all. That's where we are. Got his shield that we kind of already took a look at. Big, thick monster of a shield. Look at the back. It's actually, you can see the wooden planks. The sculpt, you can see the wooden planks that make the shield, and then the iron around the edges. Absolutely incredible. So this, if I have to take his arm off, or his hand off, I don't know if I'm going to bother putting it on. But if it just slides over, there we go. So you can, I could probably put a C-grip on there and hold on to that if I wanted to. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't know that I'm actually going to display him with the shield, though, because I don't love... I understand that's how it was. The original figure was designed, I guess. I would prefer the straps be the other way, so that this could, you know, you hold it with your arm bent, and then this goes like that. But I get it. That's not how it is. But I kind of want to give him one of the pointing hands anyway. And actually... chances are what I'm going to do, so let's get that off of there. Oh, and these straps are very, very soft, but they seem very securely fastened to the shield. I'm not saying, you know, go crazy, but they're pretty sturdy. Look at just that painted detail just on those leather straps. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's do this. Let's give him one of the creepy pointing finger hands, which I really like. And last, but certainly not least, we're going to get that sword tucked away right there and set him to the side because we have to look at the final element of this figure set. This nuts spiked ball metal chain, metal actual link chain, because of course you're not going to get anything less from NECA. The ball with painted spikes of different lengths all over just looks sick and brutal. This is one of the nastiest looking weapons, I think, in my collection. And then the handle is, of course, a cobra. Just a big cobra with a gold. By the way, yeah, this kind of doesn't make sense because it's rattlesnakes are not his deal. But the gold of this tail matches the gold that's wrapped around his armor. As much as I love this, though, I don't know that that looks as menacing as the sword does, right? Because it kind of just hangs there. I might try to stick that. Let's do this. Maybe this can go through his belt and he can hold the sword. Because that sword is just vicious and wicked and brutal and is going to look great on the shelf. I was actually having this conversation with my pal Ryan Cadaver, which, by the way, he's the guy at the end of the video in the smash that like button. That's his voice and his face, if you're ever curious. Nah, that's not really going to work. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Is that stupid? Yeah, kind of. I don't know about that. Maybe if I hang it by the chain, that would be better. What if we do that? But anyway, I was talking to my pal Ryan Cadaver, and we're discussing how, no, that's no good. If something comes with a really unique accessory, even if it's not the coolest accessory in the box, you kind of want to display it with that thing because it's different. For instance, the Super 7 Ultimate Destro I recently unboxed that came with the joystick. Like, he's holding that joystick. It's not the coolest thing he came with, but it's the most unique thing he came with. So it makes him stand out, and he's different from anything else on the shelf. Just a little toy philosophy for you before we go. So there he is. That is Grimsword Evil Knight from the Dungeons & Dragons, from NECA's collection of Dungeons & Dragons. This is incredible. I will buy even that little... They just showed some kind of like evil gnome or something. Which, by the way, is everybody evil? No, I know they've got a good guy, like a paladin coming out soon. But I'm probably going to buy all of these because, my gosh, look at this thing. It's incredible. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and keep it grim swordy? I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.